Spin and win. Latest trends in online slots and live dealer betting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this program. I'm happy to be in Manila again. It's SiGMA. It's been exciting. The show has been good. So I'm privileged to have our fellow panelists. Let me welcome James from Wicked Games. Please welcome Daniel from Qtech, Andy from Wintech, and Emiliano from Markella Games. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here. So we're going to talk about online slots and the trends that is there in the industry that's going on, and also we're going to cover some about live dealer games and the new trends that are happening in the industry. So please go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll get going with that.
Sure, thank you. Hi guys, James Davies, Wicked Games. First time in Asia, and wow, what an experience. It's been a great couple of days with regards to what we're going to speak about. Lots of experience over the last kind of 6 years. I've been fully immersed in online slots, so really looking forward to sharing some insights.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Qtech Games. We're one of the leading aggregators in the emerging market. Over 1,500 brands use us as an aggregator. 8,000 over games, 6,000 over games, 80 plus providers. Anytime we've got about 60 to 80,000 concurrent live players, so a pretty large, substantial aggregator. My background, I've been in iGaming for 15 years. I worked with places like Microgaming, Skywin, RTG, Habanero, and now with Qtech.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm Andy from Wintech, and we are providing the platforms to offline slot machine through to online. So we are pretty new. Like we found 2 years ago, and we are having like here in our neighbors, iSlot or Bingo Plus, the concept of the ideas. And we have one license, only one at this moment in the Philippines. And we are providing real machine, to the online service. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Emiliano. I'm from Costa Rica, but I'm CCO for Mancala Gaming. I come from a background of retention and VAP. Nevertheless, we've been working on B2B already for about 6 years, and 5 years we're at brand Mancala, which has been growing quite vertically in the last few years. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So let's start by asking James, because he's into slots, what are the new introduced features and mechanics that you see in the trend, latest in online slots?
Yeah, interesting. I think what we've seen over the last kind of 4 or 5 years is obviously this, as we all agree, this big push from influencers and streamers. So a lot that has been driving a lot of the mechanics in slots, because they're looking for content which is quick, it's streamable, it's clippable, is the buzzword that the kids are using. So yeah, you need to drive mechanics towards that. So you're looking for not super high volatile, but you want to have big wins, you hit frequencies, you want to have your multipliers, you want to have your wilds. So yeah, you've seen a lot of the mechanics that we're looking into developing more towards those kind of guys, the influencers.
Absolutely. And what do you think would be the same kind of influences and improvements and trends on the live dealer games? Do you want to shed some light on that, Andy?
Actually, we are doing land-based games.
Yeah.
Which is a physical slot machine, and then we have a platform, like we have a interface board to make it online, right? Mm-hmm. So in this regard, we have right now the market is people still confused with the online-based RNG software slots in between. However, I think this is going to be like 2 to 5 years more. We need more time to everybody knows what it is. However, I believe that will be the next future of the gaming industry. That's why we are spending a lot of or investment. We call the investment for a lot of technology-wise. Also, we need to deal with the jurisdiction authorities. We need like a land-based casinos and such a things. So we have a very like a high regulated things.
Right, right.
Well, I can add on the trends for live dealer.
Sure.
So live dealer online is going to be pretty divergent in the future. I think in the immediate short term, nothing changes. Everything is working fine and it will continue to work fine. We will see innovation creeping in with AI, with deepfake, but those are not going to be industry changing. So in preparation for this panel, I've actually interviewed a few of my key providers. I spoke to Izuji, Evolution, which are obviously the market leaders. I speak to up and coming brands like Better Life. Few different takes. With Evolution as a company, they own slots, they own 2 live dealer studios. They're going to do crossovers, which is not seen in the industry. So what's really important for them in the slot market is bonus buy-in features. They're going to introduce the mechanics into the live dealer table. I don't know how they're going to get it certified, but they're in the process of doing that, which means players who are used to playing No Limit City or Red Tiger buy-in feature on their slots, will see that in the live dealer, somehow in the game show live dealer or table where they can place an extra bet to win 10x, 50x, 100x more. So that's impressive for what Evolution is doing. But I think only Evolution can do that because they own so many studios, both live dealer and game studios.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side, Better Life is saying they should go more traditional, they should be more true to the core. Because if you think about it, why live dealer has evolved in the very first place, I'm not sure if everybody's as old as me, but in the early days of live dealer, you used to have a live dealer studio with the television on the back, showing news, so that people will know this is real, it's live, it's not streaming.
Right.
With all these features, with AI doing deep fake, where I know some companies are thinking of buying the rights of celebrities so that dealers can look like a celebrity.
Right.
If you can deep fake the face, you can deep fake the cards.
Absolutely.
So where's the trust? They just want to be traditional, true, and just be a product that is good quality, fast-paced, accurate, but no altercations, no alterations, no AI, no VR, nothing, because that is actually what player wants. They want that human interaction with a dealer, not an AI bot, not a VR-generated image. They just want reality, and live dealer gives them that reality.
Right, absolutely. I agree with you. And there's a lot of trend that is going on with this. And, given what we are heading towards, how do you ensure that the whole purpose of live dealer, as you rightly said, is supposed to make sure that you have that experience to play in a real casino virtually with a live dealer? And now that's changing, and the trust factor is going to change. So, Emiliano, do you want to add anything to this?
I think right now, as maybe James mentioned, right, the influencer marketing has been positioned itself as a key factor for a lot of operators worldwide. We're seeing this in Latin America, we see this in Africa, we see this in Europe, and we see this now in Asia. What you want to give them is instant gratification, right? As James mentioned, I can agree with him in this regards. You want the big wins, but also you want to show the fun factor that the games have, right? And I think there's a lot of lessons that we still have to learn from the land-based industry with all the years of experience, especially as we're doing more cross-border, right? Land-based games, we take inspiration online. At the same time, there is the social factor as well that is very influential. Being able to share at the spot, you have a big win with your friends, which again reinforces trust, which again reinforces the product. It could be, in this case, the casino games. It could be the live dealer games. The trust factor is at the forefront of the casino, and that's why the casino industry is also the one leading the adoption of new technologies worldwide as well.
Yeah. So, given the new trends, I would say the mobile and the tablet world is, big time picking up, and everybody wants to be on the move, playing these games. What do you think, Andy, are the new trends that people are expecting on the mobile platform, and how do you think those slot games are being accommodated there?
I actually working at the land-based casino over 20 years in Korea, and what still I believe the people can bet high when they have a trust there. So although online games based on based for fun or amusement, they bet really low or they bet really less. However, the streaming from the casino or regulated the online studios, they bet higher than compared to the just for fun. So which is we have to gain the trust from the players. So we are evolving our new technology through based on the we trust we trying to buy their credit. I mean trust from the players.
Okay. James, do you want to add anything to the new graphics and the designs and the themes that are there for the slot games?
Well, definitely. I mean, you mentioned there about mobile.
Yeah.
Right? We're at that cusp now where the next generation are coming through and they are mobile-centric.
Right.
Whereas before it kind of went 50-50, then 60-40. Now you've seen a huge rise in mobile players.
That's right.
Your TODs, they're all there. And they're of that age now where they're happy to click, 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 click.
Right.
With regards to graphics, I mean, this generation has come through with your Call of Duties and your Modern Warfares. They're already, their eyes are already trained for high-paced graphics and for high-paced actions. So if we can somehow emulate that into the slot games, then you're touching on then the trust factor and the credibility in the game.
Right. So being, as you rightly said, this generation expecting high graphics, everything to be super clear, and mobile phones are supposed to be, heavy in terms of the slot games, downloading everything and playing. How do you think that the trend is going to change from adapting from the real, world machines to everything in your pocket? James, you want to take that?
Well, the crossover from machines to mobile or to online is not really my area of expertise. I've fully been immersed in online for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So maybe one of the other guys who's a bit more...
Emiliano?
Thank you. Well, as technology has evolved, we have more power and more graphic capabilities in the mobile devices. We have the shrinkage of the processing units, which allow us to deliver better graphics overall. As I said, there's a lot of lessons that we're taking also from the social gaming sphere, who also took a lot of lessons from us, right? We can see it in the new games, Raid Shadow Legends and other games that the new kids are growing up. And the same topic, at the same time, you have to also keep in mind that there are certain jurisdictions that don't can handle those type of graphics regardless, right? If you're trying to push big games into Africa, for example, you will just don't get the traffic. Right. So you always have to manage expectations and reality based on also on the yields that you want to target. I think most importantly is also to give the right themes, right? At the end, I think us as casino providers, as game providers, we need to also understand the players. We need to touch the feelings that they have in order to have some good memory, some remembrance, in order to have adoption of new technologies and new mechanics. Mm-hmm. At the end, having nostalgic themes, 80s, 90s, with themes that they can relate when they're in childhood is critical in order for you to also start introducing new mechanics, new games to these new generations, right? I think the war of attention is brutal right now, not only between us, the providers, but most between us as an industry against the other focus of attentions, right? Netflix, Disney, etc., right? We always have to keep the scope that is an attention warfare that we are right now.
Absolutely.
I
agree with you.
I think I have an insight into that.
Yeah.
So we're developing in our company an omni solution, and we see that more and more present in regulated environment, even like the Philippines, for example, PACOR or PACOR e-game shops, DFNN or FieldWeb. You can go into a physical shop, play on your terminal, log out, play on your mobile phone, go home, play on your laptop, come back the next day to the shop. The game continues seamlessly. Your account balance is the same. Okada Casino has the same thing. You cash in and cash out at that cashier, but you can use the card that they have to play in the physical slot machine or go home and play online. This solution is going to be the very commonplace in the future, where you look at emerging markets in Africa, in Latam, where people are still used to going to betting shops, but as the mobile internet and technology improves in that country, they will be playing online. But how do regulators tax those players? Means the taxation comes from cash in and cash out in physical land-based environment, but gameplay can be anywhere, in the physical land-based or at home on their laptop or on the go on the mobile. It is already present now. I think that's going to be a more ubiquitous solution, especially in regulated markets with land-based and online regulation.
Oh, great. That's a very nice feature for player stickiness, I think. When it comes to live dealer games, the most important aspect of it is streaming. And we are now, everything is on the move with mobile, having the stream traveling miles across the globe, where a studio could be anywhere in Malta or Isle of Man or somewhere. What do you think are the challenges that the current generation is facing in streaming, and how do you think is the new trend on streaming to mobile devices with live dealer games? These challenges are being met? Daniel?
I think we have a gap in technology in certain regions. The great thing is in Asia, where we are right now, streaming technology over 5G network, 4G network has improved sharply. Yeah. Obviously, there are still blind spots in places like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar. Those are still the really emerging market in Asia. But when we go to look globally, there's a lot of places in Africa and the Latin American countries where this is just not a possibility. And if you look at the game trends there, since we're talking about both slots and online, slots, or rather simple slot games or crash games, have actually taken off, but not live dealer, simply because live dealer is not able to function in a low bandwidth environment. So that the trends in what the player likes, it's also dependent on the technology that is riding on. And as such, we don't actually see traction in the live dealer side of the business there because the mobile devices simply cannot support it.
That's right. Let's talk about AI basically in the industry, getting into slots, for instance, right? What are the technology improvements that you're using in AI for slots to keep player engagement?
For slot game creation, I still think AI is still a bit behind yet.
Yeah.
Still needs another year or so to kind of catch up. I've seen a couple of products, seen a few demos. It's still kind of the games that the AI tools that are out now, what they're building are still very backwards. They're very simplified, very, your 5x3s, your 7x5s. The graphics are not there. They're not going to be engaging just yet for players. Again, the AI tools are not there, are not really geared up yet to build the mechanics really that players are looking for right now. Like you say, your bonus buys and your multipliers and things like that. So I think we still need a good year or two yet for AI to catch up when it comes to slot game creation.
Okay. You want to go?
Yes, you have to understand, as James said, AI is not really AI. What we have is the large language models adapted for graphics. And, what we've seen is the adoption of these AI tools in order to make time improvements in the production lines, for example, right? Maybe, as I see the trend also in pattern recognition, I'm sure AI is going to become, once ready, very useful for fraud teams all over the operators to detect, of course, any type of cheat and any type of abuse from players, right? But other than that, I don't think it's going to be beyond the adoption of certain tools to improve production lines and production cost right now, until we have more developed language models. We all know they have issues handling even sums right now. So again, it comes down to trust. It's a nice tool right now that we're adapting it slowly, but to have full-fledged production lines made by AI, I think they're still very in the infancy to even consider right now.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I think full. Sorry. I'm
ahead, go
taking up too much. AI within the game is limited. AI outside the game, it's already fully used. So for us and for a lot of the operators, we have AI game recommendation engine, sort of like Netflix.
Yeah.
Because you watch this show, let's watch this show. So because you played this game, let's play this game. The AI recommendation engine shuffles your lobby around, so no longer are operators using static lobbies. Every lobby is customized based on the user login ID. Just like your Netflix account and my Netflix account looks completely different based on our viewing history. That's now there. It's already implemented. And then there'll be more innuendos in the future, like, are you sure you want to leave now? You know, they will just tell you your winning streak has been from this time and that time. So all this are already in place and are being implemented where legal, because I know in regulated markets in the Europe, you can't actually tell the player, are you sure you want to leave? You can play more. Those messages are illegal, but not in some other markets. But so the AI game recommendation engine and sort of like a chat bot in the lobby to recommend games to you, to remind you that you have a big win on this game, try it again. Those are already in place.
Okay. Now coming to VR, but that's something that is getting into the market and penetrating big time. What areas of VR basically are, I mean, how is this VR affecting the slot games or people adapting towards VR in virtual reality? How do you think it is penetrating the market, and how much of acceptance is there from the players?
Personally, I think VR was kind of done too early, and people are already still looking back on what it was. So it's kind of held it back. Now with obviously all the Oculus and Google glasses and all the rest of it and what's coming, again, it's still not there, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on for the near future.
What do you think in the land-based casino? Do you think anything on VR will really help or change the player behavior?
Let's say, in the land base, when they play the slot machine things, they play like more than 6 hours. So like ladies more, the females play more than the male. Whatever, they play around 6 hours, 10 minutes in average. So when you think about you wearing the gears on your eyes for the more than 6 hours, or
It's not going to work.
then the technology is not yet there, right? So we need to develop, or we need to wait until this technology bring us to make no DDs or no headaches. So I think this is gonna be like another 10 years, the homework from us, right? That's what I believe. The VR is not yet, but eventually it will be coming.
Absolutely. And I think the VR in live dealer space is slowly getting in, and some of the people are trying to use VR to experience real world casino, getting into casino playing with a live dealer. And I think that is slowly getting, but as you rightly said, James, it's still way behind. And people who are hardcore gamblers would not like to get into that, for sure. Yeah.
It's the hands-on,
Exactly. What do you think, Emiliano, the AI behavior of players? You use AI to change behavior of players or detect player behavior in any ways for fraud and so on?
We're trying to experiment a little, especially for VIP detection, right? At the end of the day, our strategy has always been to facilitate the work for our partners, right? In that case, we have more like casino managers. In that regards, we need to know our audience. We need to know what they like to play and be able to cater instant gratification either to the mechanics or with the different bonuses that we offer to our partners. In that regard, as I said, data analysis is fundamental. And I think AI, as it keeps evolving, is going to be more and more adopted. I had the discussions with the studio at a certain point because we've been heavily adopting the tools of AI. Because we know that as soon as new tools come out, you either adapt or phase out. because that's the reality, right? And we see more tools coming out every month, every year, every time quicker. So it's so fast-paced that sometimes you feel obsolete even though you're trying to get on the trends, right? So it is important that every team, on every aspect of every operation, on a B2B or a B2B side, online or land-based, to start taking a look and start adopting these tools because they're going to be cost, time, effective for the operation.
Right. And Andy, what do you think in the land-based casino, AI is adding value to your operations?
Of course, I think the AI we are like doing, if we have accumulated data, so we absolutely, AI really helps us a lot in terms of, the players coming in on a daily basis or whatsoever. They can increase the traffic to the venues. So AI really, helps a lot.
Okay, great. Daniel, do you want to add any insights to this?
I think those who don't use AI would be made obsolete very soon. So whether you're an operator using AI for game recommendation or customer retention, or a provider where you're using artificial intelligence to do game testing, because that's the most labor-intensive part of game creation right now. And that if you don't implement those tools, you will not be price competitive and you will be obsolete very soon.
James, any thoughts on that?
He just hit the nail right on the head.
Exactly.
If you're not fast, you're last. That was the old saying. But yeah, it's finding those automation tools, especially with AI in game creation. It's coming. It's not there yet, but it's coming, and it needs to be adapted or adopted, rather. Sorry.
Absolutely, I agree. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. It was a pleasure talking to all of you, and thank you for sharing all your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.